Mahala's the name. Furniture flipping is the game. Oh my god, that was really, really lame. You're welcome. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name's Mahala and this is A La Mahala. So if you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. I like to do furniture flips, DIY projects and room makeovers as well. Today is obviously a furniture flip. It's this piece behind me here which I found on the side of the street, so it was completely for free, which is amazing. The condition of this piece is actually not that bad for something that I found on the side of the street. It does have some chipping on the top and some of the wood veneer is chipping on the bottom as well. One of the knobs is missing and it's just generally looking a little bit run down and not well cared for. You will definitely be coming on a journey with me today because I need to figure out what I'm going to do with this flip. I actually have no idea except for the paint color that I would like to use, but I may change the base of this, I might change the hardware, I might keep the hardware, I might fill in the details at the top of this first drawer. I've got no idea. As with any furniture flip, the best place to start is to actually clean the piece. So I'm gonna clean it with some Dawn dish soap and then wipe any of that residue back with some warm water afterwards because you don't want to leave residue on your piece of furniture. The paint won't like it, so don't do it. Alright guys, let's jump into it. Before you start cleaning your piece, it will be beneficial to remove the hardware. It's something that I always forget until I've already mixed up my hot water and dish soap and I'm ready to start wiping down all of the surfaces of my furniture piece, and then I go, oh, that's right, remove the hardware. It's really important because there will be dust and grime underneath it and you want to get rid of that. You don't want to have to wash this thing twice. I'm all done with the cleaning and removing the hardware, and I flipped this piece upside down so that I can have a look at the base because I think the design that I end up going for will be determined by what I decide to do with the base. If I keep it as is, then I think the hardware pairs really well with it. It's sort of that kind of old school style. If I do change the base, then I think I need to change the hardware. You can see here that this is solid wood, however it also has a wood veneer on the sides and it is chipped quite a bit at the bottom. I'm a little bit concerned that even if I cover that up and put some wood filler on it and then paint over it, that damage may come back in time just because it is a piece of furniture that is sitting straight on the ground rather than on some legs. My options are I either leave it as is or I might try and take this front part off and just have a little look at what it looks like without it, because if I take this front part off then I could get my jigsaw out and cut and square it off. I feel so indecisive about this, but I think let's take the front piece off, see what it looks like, and then make a decision. Yes, I'm gonna remove it. I prefer this, but I then need to remove the side as well. So I think I'm just gonna have it sit in line with this here and yeah, gotta map that out. So time to learn to use a jigsaw. Now I know what you're thinking. Mahala, what are you doing? because you're doing it wrong. And you would be right if you were thinking that. I know that I was using the wrong blade for the jigsaw. I did buy a whole bunch of other blades because I was like, haha, I know I need to use a specific type of blade to do this, but unfortunately I bought the wrong type. So the base of the blade that goes up into the jigsaw was the wrong shape. My mistake, and then my determination, or what some may call sheer and utter stubbornness, kicked in, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do this even with the wrong blade. Probably shouldn't have, but I did. I only filmed clips of me doing the first side. The second side actually went a whole lot better because I learned a lot on the first one. So it's a lot smoother on the second one. It is not in great shape, but I know that I can fix it, and that is what's important. I need to sand it. I need to add in some supports at the base, like this here. Like this is a support here. Along here underneath, I need to add a support in as well because this is quite flimsy. So I'm going to do my scuff sand across the whole thing, sand down the base where it's, you know, a little worse for wear, and then add in my support before I can move on to the next step. So let's get into the sanding and try and salvage my mess. Most of the sanding is all done, but there is obviously some sanding here that still needs to be done. However, for me to ensure that I'm getting the straightest edge possible, I need to attach these. And these are just going to slot in here and here as support. So I'm going to glue these on using my Gorilla wood glue and then clamp them down. And then once that's all dry, I'll come back in and do some more repairs and sanding. After letting the glue dry on those additional supports that I put in yesterday, I just sanded off the overhang from the side of the dresser so that it was sitting flush with the supports that I added. I've added some wood filler in the parts that needed to be wood filled. I know that I'll have to go in with a little bit more wood filler when it's dry, but for the moment I've left the dresser, it's drying right behind me here, and it is time to move on to the drawers. And I'm definitely in a little bit of a mental pickle, an indecisive moment. So I have these leather pulls and I really want to use them on this piece. I can either have them go across like this and just add another of the gold buttons, or I can turn them into a little loop, which is quite cute and apparently very popular at the moment. Or I could do a combination of the two. And I think what I'm going to do is on the top drawer, this one here, it has all of this detail. And I was originally thinking, oh, I could fill that in. But actually, I kind of like when a top drawer is slightly different, you know, it makes it a little bit more special. So I think I'm going to put this on here and then curve it like so for all of the other drawers and have one on either side. I think that that's what I'm going to do. So let's get to scuff sanding all of these drawers, filling in the holes and drilling some new ones. Let's do it. Alrighty guys, we are at The fun part, everything is finished. I filled in all of the holes on the drawers, and then the base of the dresser where those little repairs needed to be made. So they've all been filled in, they've all been sanded, it's all been wiped back, which means it's time for the fun part. And I'm going to do a paint stain combination. So the top I want to keep with the natural wood with stain, and I'm going to use this Saman. I don't know the pronunciation of this. We'll just roll with it. Saman. I used this brand the last time I did a flip, so if you didn't see that video, I'll link it above. And it was my first time using a gel stain, and I really love the finish that a gel stain gives. I like it so much more than a penetrating stain, so I decided that a gel stain was definitely the way to go for this piece as well. But I'm using a different color. Last time I used, I think it was Special Walnut, but for this one I'm using Early American. I felt like the lighter color would suit the tan, light tan balls that I'm going to use. So Early American it is, and with this particular brand, I'm not sure if it's the same with other gel stains. With this one, you need to stir it carefully. Then with a sponge, you wipe it on. I definitely recommend also wearing a pair of gloves because it's a little bit of a messy business, but that is also why I'm wanting to stain first, because I don't want to get any stain residue on my paint, which is going to be a whitish off-white kind of color. Stain first, paint second. I just think it's the way to go. Let's get this all mixed up and pop it onto the top of this piece. The stain is on. I'm really liking the color. I think that it's really warm and luscious and lovely, and I think that's going to look really lovely. I've said lovely so many times. It's going to look really nice. Different adjective. With the hardware. And the next step, now that I've got all of that on here, is to wipe it back. And it's really important when you wipe it back, try and go with the grain, you know? Go with the flow, go with the grain. That's what you gotta do. But let's do it. While I let the stain dry on the body of this dresser, I'm going to move on to the painting, and I'm going to use Fusion Mineral Paint, which you know I love, and it's in the color Champlain. Forgive my Forgive my poor French pronunciation. It's this lovely, creamy, like off-white kind of color. I don't know if it's going to come up super well on camera, but it's beautiful. I love it. We're going to use it. And I am going to roll this on for the most part, but when I'm not rolling it on, when I need to cut into the top section of the dresser and also on the drawer that has the extra detail, I'm going to use my Country Chic brush, which has a little angle on the bristles. I've decided not to prime, which I'm hoping is not a mistake, but I don't think that I'm going to need to. Even though I'm using a light color, there's really not any bleed through that I think is going to happen. I'm going to do a first coat of the paint and then see what it's like after that. painting is all done, which means it is time to move on to the top coat. I do just want to say one thing though. I absolutely should have primed. I ended up doing 4 coats of paint and needing to use a second pot of paint for this particular project. Only a little bit of the second pot, but I've never had to do that before, so should have primed. I'm going to move on to the top coat now. I actually am not going to top coat the Fusion Mineral Paint, and the reason is Fusion Mineral Paint actually has a top coat included, which is really, really cool. Because I haven't painted the top of this, I will be putting a top coat on here, and I'm going to use a different top coat, one that I haven't used before. It's the Saman water-based top coat in flat finish, which is my preference. I like a flat finish. That's what I'm going to use today. It'll be my first time using it, so we'll see how it all works out, but I think it should be fine, and reportedly it is more than twice as durable. With this particular top coat, I do have to wait 2 to 4 hours between coats, and it will take about a week to fully cure. So I'm going to pop this on now, and I am going to use a brush, which I don't typically do. Most of the time I tend to use a sponge, my Country Chic sponge, to wipe it on. So using a brush, hopefully it gives the finish that I like. But let's get into it and test out this brand new top coat. Official verdict on the top coat. I like it. It goes on really smooth, very easily, and I think that it has a really perfect finish. Obviously it still needs to dry. Yeah, I'm really liking it. It's definitely one that I'm probably going to keep using in time as I use more of this brand gel stain, which I also really love. All in all, I love it. And what I love even more is that it is now time to move on to the final stages of this project. I need to do the last steps on the drawers to get them ready to pop back in. To get these drawers ready to pop back in, I do need to hydrate the wood a little bit on the side and the inside of the drawers, as well as the runners on the dresser. To do that, I'm going to use the boiled linseed oil that I've got here. I just picked this up at the hardware store, and I've used it before, and I think it works a treat. So we're going to use that, give everything a little drink, and then away we go. The drawers are in, which means the only thing left to do is to add all of this lovely hardware. I will just say before I add the hardware, thank you for coming on this journey with me today. I definitely had no idea what I was going to do with this piece before I started. I'm pretty thrilled with how it's turned out. It's very simple, so maybe for my next video I should do something a little more detailed and challenging, but I think it looks beautiful, and especially for something that I found on the side of the street, it is a literal trash to treasure story here. If you like this kind of content, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell notification. And, you know, while you're at it, just give it a cheeky little thumbs up as well. It really helps me and my channel if you do any or all of those things. And follow me on Instagram if you want a little more behind the scenes. I will pop that on the screen here. You can follow me there. I don't think I've said this before, but if I use any products, I will try and link them all in the description below. You can click on those if you are looking for the same kind of products. I think it's about time to do the big reveal, so I'm gonna add this hardware while you guys kick back and enjoy the before and afters of this trash to treasure furniture flip. just need to it's made in Canada. Oh, Canada, I don't know any more of your anthem, and I'm really sorry, please don't hate me, but it's made in Canada. That's kind of cool.